Please click subscribe in the top right corner. It won't interrupt this video. If you don't, I'll spoil the ending to Game of Thrones. Hey, so today's video is going to be me answering a few of the latest frequently asked questions. So they can be things about me, about hair, or just kind of what I've been getting asked a lot, and I've just been answering a lot, and I felt like I was kind of like repetitive, so I felt like I would just make a video about it. So the first question and most asked question is, how should I book with you? Where do I reach you? And the easiest way would just be to text me at this phone number here. Another very frequently asked question is, I get this long email about their hair history, and basically all it's explaining is that they are brunette or have dark brown hair and they want to go blonde. So again, I've mentioned this before in other videos, and please go back and watch that video on how to get blonde hair from dark hair. And number one answer to that is, you don't get that in one appointment. It took me a year. I was very patient with it, and that's how I got there. The other thing is, it's really hard for me to tell when I don't have a picture, and even if I do have a picture, not feeling the hair, not seeing the hair texture, not seeing the hair, how healthy it is, it's really hard for me to give you something or formula just over email. Another question is, are you, because we did a language tag a few months ago, and so I keep getting asked, are you Portuguese from Portugal or are you Brazilian? And I am from Portugal, not from Brazil, and a lot of people were saying that my accent was off, and that's mainly because I've lived most of my life in the US. My parents moved here when I was very little, like 3 years old, and that is why my Portuguese accent isn't perfect. I've spoken English more than anything, and so that is the reason why. So if I have a slight Portuguese accent, I guess, it's because the only time I use it is when I try and speak to my parents, and only trying to keep it up and not lose it ever. So another thing, I work with a few Brazilian people, so maybe I've picked up a little bit of maybe even on their accent. So that's the only reason. Anyway, I promise I'm from Portugal. So next thing is, how do you keep your hair blonde and cool and brass free? So like I've said, again, watch my video on how I maintain my blonde hair, but the number one thing is get trims often, 6 to 8 weeks, and I use a toning shampoo about 2 to 3 times a week, and that just keeps all brass away. Another question is, what is your workout routine? And first of all, I thank you for thinking that I'm fit. I think the number one thing is, in San Francisco, you walk everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, it's really, if you go like down the street, it'll be uphill, and that's a workout in and of itself. I walk to work and every day, and walk back home unless it's raining or something. And I try to do cardio at the gym maybe 2 to 3 times a week. I only do about 30 minutes. Obviously it's not the funnest thing to do, so I like to do strength training. So once a week I do work on legs. Once a week I do abs and core, and once a week I do arms and back. And that's, I feel, is enough for me, due to the time I have extra in my day, and I just kind of try and keep toned what I want to keep toned. And I think most of my cardio is done in my walking daily. So another question is, are you a licensed stylist? I either get this question from just regular viewers, or from actual licensed hairdressers, which, I mean, I don't know if they're trying to insinuate that I'm not licensed, and they then ask me, if you are licensed, why would you be giving chemical advice over the internet? So yes, I am licensed. I'm licensed in California as a cosmetologist. The other thing is, why would I give hair advice? A lot of hairdressers don't like that, because they think that we are taking business away from other hairdressers by doing so. and why would I give not false, but just information that could probably only cater to a few people, and it might hurt someone or might not give people that same result. So my answer to that is, with me making tutorials on hair and YouTube videos about hair and how to do hair at home, was never my intention to replace a hairdresser. We all know that people are going to do hair at home regardless. Regardless, I tell you, you know what, a hairdresser could probably do it better. Some people are still going to do it at home. And I personally was just tired of having people sit in my chair that did it at home wrong. And I just thought, you know what, if these people had been doing it at home, and had they at least been doing it right, I mean, of course, you're probably not going to apply it as professionally as, you know, say a hairdresser would, but as long as you're not using, you know, horrible, harsh products, or you're not using box black dye ever, please, or things like that. So I just thought, if I can inform you on how to at least not have it completely wrong, so that when you do go to a hairdresser, it's not a complete nightmare. That's just that was my thinking, and that's what I'm trying to achieve. As a hairdresser, even I do my own hair, I do my own haircuts, I do my own color, but I still, once a year, I will get my hair professionally cut by someone else. I think I still do it better, in just my opinion, because that's, I feel like as an artist, you have your own ways and your own style, and no one can give you that. The only thing is that, you know, once a year, I want it to be completely perfectly lined up and make sure that it's actually perfect, and then I work from that. So if that makes any sense. So that's kind of what I'm trying to give to you. So you can't afford to go see a stylist, or you don't have the time to go, you know, every 6 to 8 weeks like you're supposed to. So I'm just giving you, you know, just at home advice where you can keep up and maybe see a stylist less. But I know that that is maybe taking some, you know, business away from a hairdresser, but I just think that I'm not necessarily, you know, the advice I give you is probably not someone that was going to go see a hairdresser and now is, oh, you know what, like, now I can just do it all myself. And, you know, if you are, and if you feel like you can do it at home, then why not? I mean, I want to keep this as honest and as open as possible, and if it is something you can do on yourself, why would I pressure you in to come and sing me? So, but everyone that does and is, you know, coming to me for something more serious or more, you know, highlights and stuff like that, then obviously, of course, I appreciate that, and I welcome all of you. Another question I've been getting a lot, and this was on my recent kind of YouTube, recent OOTD videos on, you know, outfits of the day. And I think the first one we put out, a lot of girls were saying, like, these things are too expensive and why would you put this out there, and most people can't afford this. And I honestly don't think that I have a lot of clothes. I mean, I think like a lot of my friends have a lot more clothes than I do. The way I like to buy things is I like to buy kind of classic, neutral pieces that go well with other things. So I like to invest more on a piece that I feel like I'm going to wear every day, like a bag or shoes or a coat, something that I know that I can keep for a very long time. If I take care of that, that will last me a long time. And in my opinion, it's not a waste of money, and I don't say if I buy something that's $20 over, $150, if I get a lot more use out of that, I think that in the long run is actually saving me money. That's just how I like to shop. I'm not the kind of girl that, is always at H&M and always at Forever 21 and has all these trendy tops and just, buys like 2 to 3 tops like a week. Like, that's just not who I am. That's not how I dress. I've nothing against that, but that's just how I shop. So most of my things, like I said, are more, I wouldn't say necessarily classic pieces, but I like to, when I like a bag, I like to save up for it and then invest and wear that bag every day for like a year or whatever. Like I said, I walk every day to work. I need a sturdy bag, and I like to get it in a color that I feel like will go with everything, and so that's just my reasoning for that. Another thing, I work really hard and I just prioritize. When something is important to you, I think you just prioritize, and you know, maybe you get, you know, you don't get that latte every morning and you save up and you get that. I mean, it's whatever I think is important to you, and I think you just make it happen. I don't know how else to explain that, but that is, I honestly don't think that I'm like a big spender when it comes to maybe fashion and clothes, but when I do like something, I do like to save up and get it. And I'm not a big stickler for like brands or showing off kind of, you know, like I don't have a Louis Vuitton bag or something that is like really obvious. And I mean, not to knock that, I mean, I think they're beautiful, but I mean, I'm just saying I don't have anything that's flashy or anything like that. So I'm sorry if it did offend anyone and it wasn't trying to show off in any way, and I hate to almost even put a disclaimer out there for that video or anything like that, but I just wanted to explain. And obviously these weren't all things that I went out and bought in one day. These are things that I probably have accumulated over the years, and just, you know, some of my favorite things. So obviously when you see it all in a video, it seems like it was something that I got all last week, and that's definitely not the case. Another frequently asked question is, where do I tend to shop? And I tend to shop at these 3 stores that are just, you know, in Union Square. They're close to me, and I think they're affordable. So one is Zara, H&M for kind of basic pieces, and I actually love American Apparel, even though when you walk in, I think it seems a little kind of hipster, and that's not necessarily my style, but I found some pretty good quality pieces that I actually like, and I love their dresses. They're comfortable and they're cute, and the fit is always easy and right. So those are probably my top 3 stores where I shop. So the other question is, how often do you wash your hair? And I tend to wash my hair every other day, unless I put product in it one day and the next day I want it off. Then I wash it every day. Another really recently asked question is, how do I stay so tan? And in San Francisco, we don't get a lot of sun, and I don't go to the beach as often as I'd like. I used to do tanning beds for a while, and I know that that's so not good for you, so I stopped that a few years ago, and I just do sunless self-tanning. And Saint Tropez is my absolute favorite, and that's what I've been using, and I will be doing a video on that soon, so stay tuned for that. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening to me ramble on, and hopefully this answered a lot of your questions, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.
And don't forget to watch my new video every Monday.